What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. Welcome back, Justin. Justin, how's it going?
It's going all right. It's going all right. It's so hot in this podcast
Oh
suite.
my goodness, it's almost as hot as it is outside, and it's been really hot.
It's been really hot outside. My God, it's September. Can we get a little cooler?
Exactly. It's not even like we're in the South. We're in freaking Connecticut,
We
and it's
are.
still 90 degrees. It's
Yeah.
been 90 degrees all week. I don't know what's going
This
on.
is what they warned us about. Laramie Tunsil ripping the gas mask is what's causing the global warming. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it's been hot
Yep.
outside. All right, let's jump right in. We're gonna start actually with some baseball. So we're in the home stretch of the season. We got Justin's already happy because he knows exactly what we're gonna talk about. September 7th, so about 3 or 3.5, maybe 4 weeks to go to the postseason. Still got a bunch of pennant races, still a couple divisions up for grabs, still a lot of spots up for grabs. But Justin over here is a Baltimore Orioles fan, and they have been probably this year's breakout team. They right now, I believe, have the best record in the American League, and I believe the second best record in baseball. So, Justin, what are your thoughts on your Baltimore Orioles this season?
Look, I don't really look at things. I've been really busy, so I wasn't able to follow the season all the way through. But
Mm.
let's fucking go. That's all I gotta say. Oh yeah, they're the best team in the AL. They are the second best team in the NL. The best team in the second best team in the league. The best
Mm.
team in the league is the Braves.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But finally, everything is firing off on all
Mm.
cylinders for once. I mean, finally people see why Anthony Santander is a good player.
Mm.
I don't know. I can't really complain.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, It's not. I'm happy that the Orioles are winning. I'm just happier that the Yankees are losing.
Yes, it's always good when Yankees lose. But yes,
I could throw the Mets into there too. I don't like either.
that's okay. It's okay. But yeah, the with the Orioles, they had a lot of the last few years have been rough. They had just 100 loss year after 100 loss year. It was really rough. Going through a really big rebuild. But they appear to have the right people in charge of Brandon Hyde as manager and Mike Elias as the GM. They built a good young team, and you have some teams that try to buy a championship. Look at the Mets. Look that fell in their face.
That's a failure.
San Diego Padres probably in the same boat. Even the Yankees are probably in that boat. Orioles, they built, through a draft, and a lot of their teams were guys who this year or last year, or maybe the year before, were a top prospect and most of their team is homegrown guys.
Yeah, you were even saying last year. You said if they spend money, they'll
Yeah.
be a good team, and look what happened.
Yeah, and it's weird. They didn't spend a whole lot, but the moves they made were smart. Like they brought in Adam Frazier on a 1 year deal. Didn't spend a whole lot of money. Just a solid veteran who can play different positions, maybe second base, good solid hitter. They brought in Kyle Gibson to help the rotation. When they let Jordan Lyles go, a guy who pitched decently well for them last year, and brought in Gibson, who was coming off a year where he wasn't great. People were like, maybe should have spent less money to bring back Lyles. And Jordan Lyles has been horrendous this year in Kansas City. And Gibson hasn't lit the world on fire, but he's been a solid guy that's ate some innings in the back of the rotation. It's just like these little small moves that they've made, and it's really worked out. And a lot of these young guys have really taken a step forward as well.
Like Santander.
Yeah, Santander has been very good. Mountcastle,
The other goat, the goat too.
Cedric Mullins is a good player, and their team they've called up their product. They haven't been afraid to call up their top products, even if they have been in AAA that long. The Orioles like what, we're embracing the youth movement. Let's call these kids up. So they called up Jordan Westberg, and giving them a lot of playing. They've called up Colton Cowser, I think his name is, and given him a lot of playing time. Last year they called up Adley Rushman. He was an all-star starter this year. So, and you look at teams like the Mets and the Yankees who had a lot of top prospects that, they kind of waited until they were out of the race. But right now,
Even the Rangers, who are having a good year, but they're not having this like super super elite year. At least I don't think.
No, I mean, in June, they were looking like they were going to be a World Series contender. And then they kind of fell off a little bit. At the deadline, they made a lot of moves, but now they're, as of a day or two ago, there are 2 games out of the division, a half game out of the playoff spot. So they can still easily get in, but for a team that was, top 4 team in baseball a couple of months ago, it's been a bit of a fall.
Absolutely.
far from glory. And to me, they kind of remind me of the Mets just because well they have Jacob Degrom and Max Scherzer. Degrom's hurt.
Yeah.
Scherzer is underperforming. They spent a crap ton of money on the rotation, and they're underperforming. Not as much as the Mets, obviously, but yeah. So maybe Scherzer and Degrom don't work. Maybe that's
Maybe Scherzer doesn't work. Period.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. But those two together, when they're both on the field together, it seems like they pitch well. But the team success hasn't
I
led to a lot
couldn't
of wins.
believe that Mets thing failed. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I was surprised because
Mhm.
I mean it's the most Mets thing to happen,
Yeah.
but it's people are gonna look at it and are gonna call it a horrendous failure. I mean,
That's what it
as
is.
a Met fan, I think you need to understand that it is.
It's not even like it's hard to not call it a colossal failure. I don't know how you could possibly justify as anything but a colossal failure. You can't not have a $344 million payroll and be this bad.
Yeah, it's not the biggest failure in sports by any means. That to me goes to last year's Bruins.
Yeah, that was right.
That have breaking all these records only to lose in 7 to the Panthers.
Yeah.
So, but this is still not very good.
It's
and
bad.
Back to the Orioles. Are they gonna win a World Series this year? I don't think so. But are they gonna? But I could see them making the conference finals.
Yeah, they can go the LCS. I mean, look at the AL. You got that whole AL West division. Texas is struggling. Seattle's been playing great baseball, but they also lost a series to the Mets, and I think losing a series to the Mets should just disqualify you from being good. The Mets are very bad.
No, that's the Royals.
Yeah,
I think if you lose I think if you lose a series to the Royals, you should be banned from baseball.
I think it's very fair. But yeah, and then like even Houston, like they have I'm gonna plug this back in. Don't want hope.
Your audio's not cutting out, so
All right.
you're fine.
That's good. All right, so but yeah, Houston, they're very good and they have the experience. They're still very good, but to me, they're still not quite the same team. And then outside of that, I mean, there's really nobody. Like the Orioles are better than the Toronto Blue Jays if they were to get in. So like the LCS is not out of the question.
Yeah. I want to bring up a topic that was mentioned yesterday on First Take because Giancarlo Stanton hit his 400th homer. So they're saying, is he going to be in the Hall of Fame? And I think the answer is no.
No.
You don't need to be a baseball genius. You could be a baseball dumbass like I am to
you don't even have to be a baseball fan.
You have to be a baseball fan. I like baseball. I just can't. I just I try to watch it, but I'm not around at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Look, if it was all night games, I'd probably watch it. But but no, I don't think Stan makes a Hall of Fame.
To me, it's not even a question.
If there's any current Yankee on the roster right now that's going to make the Hall of Fame, it's Aaron Judge.
Yeah, he's if he keeps doing what he's doing, he'll absolutely be there. Even Garrett Cole
will be there. Well, Garrett Cole is also a great player. I mean, he's a phenomenal pitcher. So he's going to make even if he didn't go to the Yankees, he'd go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but yeah, Stanton, like if he kept what he did at the end of his tenure in Miami. All right, talk to me, but he just hasn't been the same player in the Bronx. He's not been able to stay on the field. He really has not had a good year this year, to be honest, at all.
Nope.
I haven't paid. I obviously don't follow the Yankees as much as the Mets. And a month or two ago, he was not even hitting 200. Like he had a bunch of home runs, but dude wasn't hitting 200. He strikes out a lot, which is there's guys in the Hall of Fame that strike out a lot, but like they also have incredible numbers, and
they also have records being shattered.
Exactly, and Stan just doesn't have that.
I mean, or they have World Series wins. Like Albert Pujols is going in the Hall of Fame, no matter what. It's because he's
one of the all-time greats.
One of the all-time greats. Yeah. But I don't look at Giancarlo Stanton in the entire list on the entire laundry list of Yankees legends and say, oh yeah, Giancarlo Stanton belongs in the names of Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio. Lou Gehrig. No, he doesn't deserve that.
No, absolutely not. No.
But so I'm happy the Orioles are winning. Do you know what Baltimore team I don't like? The Ravens.
That is a actually very good segue because now we're going to talk about the NFL. So first, we're gonna do our predictions for the season. We're gonna predict all the awards, and we'll predict the Super Bowl.
All right, it's so over. It's so
So
over.
Justin, who is your MVP this year?
My MVP this season. Ooh, I want to go big and bold.
Okay.
I want to go big and bold. My MVP this year is going to be Justin Jefferson.
Ooh, I like it.
It's going to be Justin Jefferson. It's about I know it's almost impossible for a non-quarterback to win MVP. It's just there's like a smattering of them. But if there's anybody who goes above and beyond for their team,
Yeah.
it's Justin Jefferson. I mean, look at the Vikings offseason. You got rid of Dalvin Cook, who was
Mhm.
still a great player and was a big part of that team, a big part
Mhm.
of that offense. You got rid of Adam Thielen, who's been there forever.
Mhm.
You pick up Hawkinson in the middle last year, which was a very good pickup, but he's still not going to be as reliable as
Mhm.
Justin
No.
Jefferson. I mean, let's face it. You touchdown to win. It's OT touchdown to win the game. It's 4th and 8, and you need to. And you're at your own. And you're at your opposing person's 20. Are you throwing it to T.J. Hawkinson or to Jalen Rager, or are you throwing it to Justin
Rager's
Jefferson?
now New England. Yeah.
You know, New England. Well, at one point was
Jefferson.
Jalen. Well, Jalen Rager was on that team
He
at one point
was for some
for
god
some
awful
dumb
reason.
reason. Yeah,
They
they
decided he deserves a roster spot. But yeah, Jefferson. It's really a shame it's become a quarterback award because the last non-quarterback to win was Adrian Peterson when he almost broke the rushing record. That was like 2012, I think.
yeah.
But there's been a couple times over the last few years that you can make a case. I would say Derrick Henry. I think it was like 2 years ago.
Derrick Henry 2 years ago should have won it.
You could make a case he
It
should have
shouldn't have
won
been
it.
Aaron Rodgers. It should have been.
Yeah,
Should
that
have been
was
Henry.
I think that was Rodgers' second MVP. The first year he deserved. The second year, everyone was like, "Oh, is it Rodgers or is it Brady?" To me, I was like, "Mate, all right,
It should have been Derrick Henry.
yeah." And then even last year, like I was Mahomes last year. To me, Mahomes deserved it, but I think that even Jefferson, I did think I had a case last year.
Yep.
But I would not be surprised if he wins with that because like they're a pass heavy offense under Kevin Stefanski. So they were that last year, and now you lose your an 1,100-yard back. Just by default, I would think they're going to pass even more.
Oh, of course.
And their defense isn't good, so they're probably going to give up a lot of points. There'll be a lot of shootouts. Jefferson having 2,000 yards isn't out of the question. If
Oh,
you ask
not
me,
at all. No, him
I
having
don't think
20
so.
touchdowns in the season isn't out of the question.
If Calvin Johnson did it, Calvin Johnson's an all-time great. But
Megatron, I love Megatron.
if he did it, with in one less game in an offense that was also very pass heavy at the Lions because they haven't had a running game until now for years and years and years. It's a similar situation, and Jefferson's, I mean, probably just as talented. That it's not very close, but Calvin Johnson, one of the most talented receivers we've ever seen. I don't think it's out of the question.
Nope, not at all. But I like Jefferson a lot.
Oh yeah.
I forgot what my point was going to be. Oh yeah, I was going to say this, but we're going to get to picks later. I just want to mention that I'm sure Calvin Johnson is a very happy man watching his team, watching the Lions
Yeah,
get improve.
they look pretty good this year. Could win their division very easily. Wait, so for my MVP pick, do I say the boring answer or do I get fancy?
I mean, you could do either or, but as long as it makes sense.
I'm gonna say Pat Mahomes.
Mahomes, I mean that's a great answer though too. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't go against Mahomes ever.
You really can't end like. I mean, no one wins MVP every single year. I mean, like Mahomes can be the best player in football, and if Justin Jefferson has 2,000 yards or if Justin Herbert has a crazy year, he obviously wouldn't. The other guy would win it. And Kelsey being hurt now, possibly missing a game, or maybe battling injury throughout the year, hurts the case. Not saying Mahomes won't be any worse, but just overall the case might get hurt because he doesn't have his big tight end. But
yeah, Mahomes also has this kind of. Fine, I'll say this. I'm gonna get killed. Mahomes has that Brady-ish tendency.
absolutely.
And what I mean by that is that he'll take a player who's not going to succeed on any other team and is going to make them a weapon. When are you afraid of Sky Moore? When are you ever going to be afraid of Kadarius Toney again?
Tony with the Giants battled like 6 different injuries. He might have been faking it because as soon as he came to the Chiefs, he looked fantastic. You're like, I thought you had 4 different injuries, but I guess not. But yeah, he did not look very good with the Giants. He clashed with different coaches. He was always battling 6 different injuries at a time. He goes to the Chiefs. First of all, like his first game after coming off 4 injuries, he looked fine, and also he looked really good. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think Mahomes. I think the Chiefs. We can see like a Patriots effect. Like Patriots have had a lot of guys. They go to New England. They're phenomenal, and they become a free agent, and they send a big contract, and then they aren't that good, and they're like, what the heck
Like
happened?
Danny Amendola.
Yeah, I mean, Amendola was good with the Rams, but then he goes to the Patriots, and the guy's like guy's a postseason legend.
Yep.
You look at a guy
And then he
like
goes to the Lions, and
it
he
was
sucks.
not great, yeah. But yeah, so like guys, I think we could see a similar thing. Like I think Kadarius Toney could be a guy like who could become like really good, and then maybe if he eventually leaves in a couple of years, he might go somewhere else and not be that good. Like what the heck happened to this guy? But
They might fall off. Like I'm not necessarily sure if I'm gonna say McCole Hardman is going to be better on the Jets than he was on the
yeah,
Chiefs.
especially since his role was, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Nope, no, not at all. So I actually think that's a good pick.
Yeah, it's absolutely the obvious pick. If he doesn't win it, I would not be surprised, and I kind of almost want to see Justin Jefferson win because it's become a quarterback award. Obviously, if a guy has a year like Mahomes had last year, obviously I'm not saying don't give it to him,
Yeah,
but if Justin Jefferson has a 2,000 yard receiving season, I don't see why he shouldn't win it.
yeah,
Especially
absolutely.
especially on the freaking Vikings, who
Yep,
might not be great this year.
yep, definitely.
All right, so let's go to offensive player of the year.
Offensive Player of the Year. Um, I'm gonna say Garrett Wilson.
Ooh,
I'm gonna say
yes.
Garrett Wilson because let's talk about pass heavy offense. That's going to be where the Jets are going to have a relatively pass heavy offense,
Yeah.
especially with all the receivers they have. Lazard is not meant to be the wide receiver one on
No.
that team. He's going to be your solid guy to where if they double cover, if they double cover Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers has another guy to throw to.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Garrett Wilson's going to win this. He is no longer playing with Zach Wilson
No.
anymore. He is playing with a guy who can actually throw him the ball. He is a guy who can read a defense to where he can go into the slot. He can go deep. He can play basically anywhere. And he will make something out of three people in front of him. So I don't think he wins MVP this year,
Mm.
but I do think offensive player of the year is very much in his grasp.
I think so too. I mean, I do think the just will run ball a decent amount, but also like Gary Wilson had 1,100 yards with Zach Wilson, Mike White, Joe Flacco, and Chris Trevor. Now he has Aaron freaking Rodgers. His numbers are going to skyrocket, and he was phenomenal last year.
Yeah.
So,
He's
like,
another guy, 2,000 yards isn't going to be ridiculous.
yeah, I think he'll be close to the
I
1,500, but
think
like,
1,500 is not ridiculous either.
I think that's a good target. I think he's going, and just like if you watch Hard Knocks, and even just in the preseason, the connection between those two is already on point, and we
It
haven't even
is.
started the season. So, you know, I know, like I'm sure Aaron Lazard will get his reps, especially because he's got the chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. But outside of that, Wilson is by far the guy. He's just the clear cut one by a mile.
Absolutely.
So he's gonna have a big year.
For sure.
My offensive player of the year, I'm gonna say it's Justin Jefferson.
I I would have said that too. I
Yeah,
didn't want to be boring. I want
yeah,
to be boring and say it's because I was thinking either Jefferson, Mahomes, or Garrett Wilson.
yeah.
Because what I think is if Mahomes doesn't win MVP, it's Justin Jefferson, and Mahomes wins Offensive Player of the Year, and vice versa.
Yeah, that's very fair. I'm going with Jefferson. I mean, there's no reason why he won't have at a minimum 1,500 yards a year. I wouldn't be surprised if he has 100 plus catches for
He's gonna
1,800
put on a clinic. He's the best
1,800 yards.
he's the best wide receiver in the NFL.
He absolutely is, and he's my offensive player of the year.
Easy.
All right, let's go on the other side of the ball. This one will probably get a little more variety. Defensive player of the year.
That one's really, really tough.
Yeah.
You go first. I don't want to be put under fire. You go first.
I'll say Micah Parsons. I'll go with him. He's obviously a phenomenal player, and the Cowboys are making him predominantly an edge rusher. He was like an outside linebacker, so on top of being a pass rusher, he was also having to drop back in coverage. Now they're permanently making him a defensive end, so he'll be a guy who was still putting up like 15 plus sacks, coming on, also dropping back in coverage. Now he won't have to worry about that. He can just focus on being a pass rusher. I think 20 sacks may not be out of the question for him. I mean, on the other side, Dexter Lawrence is good, but not great, so he may draw double teams. But I think he'll have a 15 plus sack year. I think he can win Defensive Player of the Year, so I'll pick him.
I'm gonna say Sauce.
Yes,
I think it's gonna be so. I was thinking about it, but the reason why is because last year he only let up one touchdown.
Yeah.
He had one bad performance of blown coverage that resulted in a touchdown, and this is when he played against wide receivers with the likes of Amari Cooper, Stephon Diggs,
Mhm.
Gabe Davis, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. I mean, really, the list goes on,
Oh
and he
yeah,
come and he defended and he marked all of them with flying colors. He won Defensive Rookie of the Year for a reason
absolutely.
last year, and I think if he can put up that performance, if not better, because they have a pretty tight, they have a somewhat difficult schedule this year. The Jets.
Mhm.
So if he can do that against Juju, against Kelsey, for example, or against Tony going down because they're playing the Chiefs. If he can put up performances like that the entire year, and if he can get his 5 or 6 interceptions, I don't see why he can't win Defensive Player of the Year.
Absolutely, absolutely. The only thing that's gonna hurt him is that he won't have a ton of interceptions because guys don't throw at him.
No, because you can't throw at him.
Exactly, like people like
That's from he's not gonna have pretty film, but that doesn't matter.
yeah, but like last people were trying to say, oh, Aiden Hutchinson has like more picks than him and he's D lineman because they didn't. Eventually, they stopped throwing at Sauce. People stopped. He shut down the whole side of the field.
He did.
Like he could have had 5, 6 plus picks if he wanted to, but they just weren't throwing at him. If you look at his coverage grades, he was like first in the league and like first, second, third in the
He's
league. And
not this ultra aggressive guy.
no,
He's going to wait to pick it when the time is right. He's going to go for the incomplete, but he's not going to run to grab the pick and then risk blown coverage.
yeah, he's not like a ball hawker like a Trayvon Diggs, who's like who's a little more aggressive. He's a more conservative guy, but it works. He's an absolute lock over there, so I would not be
Yeah,
surprised if Sauce
he
wins.
was one of the biggest pieces of that defense
Absolutely,
last year. I don't think they're half as successful without him.
absolutely not now. So yeah, Sauce is a great pick. So now
Yep.
let's do Coach of the Year.
You go first.
I'm gonna say I'll say Dan Campbell.
I like Dan Campbell a lot.
Yeah, in the past I've been critical of him. His first year, people said, "Oh, he had a lot of close games," but I was also like, "Well, yes, but they also could have won a lot of those close games." Last year, I thought his clock management was a little porous. I'll always remember Thanksgiving. I'm at my grandma's house. I'm in the guest room watching TV. He just won't call a timeout. I'm screaming at my TV to call a timeout. My aunt like peeked in the room because she's like, "What the heck is going on?" And so his clock management, I gave him a lot of flack last year, but as the year went on, you could tell the guys really start to buy what he's trying to do. You know, you know, what he's trying to do over there. Obviously, he's very loud and he's trying to make this a much tougher group, and he's trying to really change the culture. And when you're trying to change the culture as much as he is, it does take time. So as last year went on, I got a little more patient with him, and I think they're ready to take the next step. And if he takes the Lions to the first ever division title, I think you got to give the award to him.
I don't think I can go against the Dan Campbell thing. I have to agree with you because people get Coach of the Year, Manager of the Year very twisted in sports.
Yeah.
People look at it as, oh, if you lead a team to the playoffs and they succeed in the playoffs and win a championship when they were expected to win a championship, you're Coach of the Year.
Right.
That's not what Coach of the Year
If
is.
so,
Co-
yeah,
if
giving it to Bill every single year.
Yeah, they're giving it to Bill Belichick every single year. Phil Jackson would have won it every single year. Pat Riley would have won it every single year. Greg Popovich only won it one time or twice. I don't know, but he has not won it every single year.
Yeah.
But I'm just going down the list
Yeah.
of different guys. But the Coach of the Year is taking a team and completely turning it around from what it was. Taking a team that was a laughingstock and making them into a threat. That's what the Lions are. I just don't know anybody else that would even come close
Yeah.
to Coach of the Year if the Lions succeed this year. I think it is going to be
Yeah.
Dan Campbell, and I just love Dan Campbell as a
Yes,
person.
he's an
If you guys,
awesome dude.
if I mean, if you ever have time, go back and watch Hard Knocks with the Lions
Oh, it was
because
fantastic.
that was really good. Like he's doing push-ups with the players. He's he's getting involved with them.
Yeah.
And people wrote him off very early.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, and people just had to give him time, and now, boom, he's now a more respected coach.
Yeah, like when Dan Campbell took over, he says this is gonna take I think like two or like
Bite off people's kneecaps. That was the first
that was
conference. Bite off people's kneecaps.
yeah. I think when you said that, people were like, what the heck? I mean, the guy, and then he wanted a live lion at the practice.
Yep.
You know, the guy might be a little kooky, but you know what his style is, so far has worked because the Lions they first one they've had hope in maybe ever.
Yep. Absolutely.
And yeah, just to reiterate, I agree with you. It would be hard to if they win the division, it'd be hard to not give it to him. And I do like your point also about how like coach year, it's not like a team that was expected to win 13 games, won 13 games, and went to the Super Bowl. Like
Andy Reid was never going to win Coach of the Year.
Yeah, it's not that he's not a great coach. He's an amazing coach, probably the league's best coach and a future Hall of Famer. Just like all right, he took a team that was expected to go to the Super Bowl. Like that's like for example, going to the NBA, Mike Brown took a team that hadn't made the playoffs in like 20 years to the 2 seed in the West. Even Buck Showalter last year with the Mets,
Buck Showalter was big.
He took a team that had been a laughingstock for a while, and they still are. But for at least a year, he took a team that won 77 games and won to 101 wins. Obviously, didn't have a lot of playoff success, but based off the regular season, that's why they gave it to him.
Exactly.
All right, and our last award is going to be the Comeback Player of the Year.
Comeback Player of the Year? It's Damar Hamlin.
It's got to be, I would think.
I don't know how it cannot be Damar Hamlin. This guy, he literally died on a football field.
He did.
And he's coming back and is deciding to play football. Me personally, I don't know why you do it. I don't know why you do it. But
yeah, it's tough. I mean, you know, he's 24 years old, whatever. He's played football his whole life, probably. You know, he was a star at Pitt. You know, the Bills took him, making like the 6th round a year or two ago. You know, he first like year and a half didn't play much. He was a backup, and then Bills had a lot of injuries, so he got thrust into a starting role. And he held the fort down enough for the Bills, and then of course what happened. I mean, the guy was able, obviously, thank God for the incredible trainers of the Buffalo Bills that were able to save his life, and the hospital staff that were able to.
Yeah, in Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati, they were able to do their due diligence to make sure that he would be okay long term, and he was able to recover and get cleared. And I think it's an incredible story. Obviously, it's dangerous. That's his decision, but yeah, as long as he plays the full season, I don't know how you don't give it to him.
Yeah, I don't know how he doesn't win it. I mean, really, anybody. I guess you could give it to. I guess you could argue Tua if he has a good year coming off a horrendous concussion, but also he didn't die on a football field and then come back, and then play another season of football.
Yeah, well, Damar Hamlin was incredible. I don't. You might as well give the award to him now.
You might as well. It's not going to anybody else.
It's really not. It's really not. All right, so those are our award picks. So let's do our Super Bowl picks.
Super Bowl picks.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I want it to be the Jets, but I know it's not going to be the Jets.
I know. I'm in the same boat.
It's not going to be the Jets. I'm going with the 49ers.
Ooh.
I'm going with the Niners. They're due.
Yeah.
They're due for a win. They really are. I think Brock Purdy's more of a guy than people think he is. Mm-hmm. I think the people that don't want Brock Purdy to succeed are the people who are Brady fans, who are diehard Brady fans and don't want to see like a repeat of that. I mean, this guy was Mr. Irrelevant.
Last pick in the draft.
Last pick in the draft. Dead last pick in the draft. And he has a lot of weapons. I get it. But he's still a good player. I mean, he has Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Ayuk. I can't believe I just lost track. Because there's just so many. And then on the defensive end, you have a defensive line run by Nick Bosa. That it's almost the most complete team in the NFL. I can't
Yeah,
really spot a hole in that
you
team.
really can.
So I'm gonna say the Niners win the Super Bowl this year.
I think if they're healthy, they do. I'm not. Obviously, health has always been an issue with them, but if they're healthy, it's gonna be hard to stop them. You're not gonna be able to stop them on offense. If Brock Purdy does what he did last year, I think he can be even better than he was last year, and it's gonna be hard to score on them.
I mean, it's gonna be very hard to score on them on defense.
Yeah. So who do you have them losing to?
Who would I have the 49ers losing to?
I mean, like who do you have them beating rather?
Who do I have them beating in the AFC?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 54 rematch.
Oh, against the Chiefs.
Yeah, against the Chiefs.
Ooh, that was a great
That was
game.
a great game. That went down to like the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. That game, it
Yeah.
was it was really good fun, and that was with Jimmy G.
Yeah.
And they've improved since Jimmy Garoppolo's came.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think they could beat the Chiefs this year.
Absolutely, and for
The
me,
Chiefs defense is not that good.
it's not
It's
great, especially if Chris Jones is sitting out like at least half the year. That's a big piece that you're losing.
definitely.
Big piece that you're losing on a defense that's already not great. For me, mm, I'm gonna take the Chiefs.
I would love the Chiefs do it mainly because it would be a great story. Now Mahomes 3 rings and
Yeah,
Mahomes has 3 rings. Kind of, you can then argue that it's a start of a dynasty.
yeah,
Um, I can understand why Patriots fans don't want it because people do end up jumping the gun a bit and end up calling, like, is Patrick Mahomes the greatest quarterback of all time, and that's not true yet.
not yet now.
I'm on the line to where, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna say Brady's the best,
Yeah,
but I'm also saying that Patrick Mahomes at 27 could potentially have 3 rings,
yeah,
and you're telling me he's not on Brady's, he's not going to even be on a similar track as Tom Brady?
yeah.
I think there's a chance to where Patrick Mahomes could end his career top 5 all time.
I think top three.
Top 3. It could be top 3.
Yeah,
It could be top 3. It's currently Brady, Montana, and then who would it be after that?
maybe Peyton.
Maybe Peyton. There you go. Maybe Peyton, and you could argue that Patrick Mahomes could end up having more success than Peyton Manning did.
Yeah, you think in the regular season it'll be very close, and he's already got as many rings as Peyton has,
He does. He has as many rings as Peyton has, and Peyton took Peyton another like 20 years to get
and
to get another
Mahomes has been
ring.
in the league what 5, 6, 7 years.
Like 7 years, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll take the Chiefs. This is probably where you could probably officially call them a dynasty. To me, you got to win 3 championships to be a dynasty.
In a
So
certain span of years.
yeah, a lot in the row, obviously, but this would be their third in this Reed, Kelsey, Mahomes era.
Yeah. I think if you win 3 rings in 5 years, you're a dynasty.
Absolutely, and yeah, I think the rest of the roster, I think is also very good. I like Isaiah Pacheco. I don't think like talent wise, I mean, he was a 7th round pick. I think talent wise, he's just okay, but Andy Reid loves throwing to his running backs. He loves pass catching running back, which is what Pacheco is. So I think he'll have a lot of volume. I think they have a lot of young receivers, but they're also all very fast. So I think the receiving come might be better than people think.
Yep.
Kelsey will be fine eventually. He won't miss much time, even if he is hurt.
Well, no, he has a bone bruise, so it's not a major injury.
Yeah,
which is huge.
You got a great offensive line. The defense isn't great, but I think it's good enough considering how much they're going to score. So I'll take the Chiefs. I'll have them losing.
You'll have them beating, you mean?
Beating. I keep doing that. I had them beating. NFC is kind of weak. I'm gonna go bold when I said the Seattle Seahawks get to the Super Bowl.
Oh.
They're my sleeper. I think if Gino can do what he did again, which I think he can. He's got the weapons to do so. I think the defense is even better. I think the offense is even better. I think across the board they're better than they were last year. I think
They could make a run unless
Yeah.
Gino remembers that he's Geno Smith.
Yeah. So I'll say Chiefs beat the Seahawks.
Now it's time for Drew Lock, baby. Time for
Oh
Drew
God.
Lock. All right.
All right, time for game picks.
Game picks.
All right, so Thursday night football to kick off the season. Lions, Chiefs. Depending on I'm not sure when you guys are seeing it. It's 3:05 Eastern time right now, so you should be seeing it before the game
At
starts.
8:20 Eastern time.
Yep, but that's when the game
PM.
starts. Yep.
Not
So
AM.
Lions, Chiefs. Who you got?
Lions. I am taking the Lions. Let me tell you why. Here is the Chiefs pattern. The Chiefs pattern is either start 5-0 and lose the Super Bowl, or start start like have like a slow start of like 3-2, and then end up blasting off in week 8 and eventually making it to the Super Bowl and possibly winning it. I think because they always have a slow start, I'm taking the Lions this time. Also, I don't think, mainly because of conferences, I don't think they're going to be ready for that. I don't think the Chiefs defense in particular is going to be ready for a Lions offense.
That's a good point. In recent years, they start off like 3-2, 3-3. People are like, well, what the heck is going on? And then and then they win 7 games in a row. You're like, oh well, yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
They remembered how to play football.
So I'm not sure if Kelsey's gonna play. They say it's gonna be a true game time call. I feel like they shouldn't play him because they could hypothetically lose this game and still be the top team in AFC. So maybe like rest him. And I don't think they have Chris Jones either because he wants a contract and they haven't been able to agree on anything yet. I heard he might hold out like well into the season. He said on social media week 8. I don't know if I believe that, but it's gotten pretty. It's a pretty serious holdout. Holdouts to me, I think, are stupid. They don't work.
Nope.
Look at Le'Veon Bell. He ruined his career.
Yep. Look at James Harden.
Yeah, James Harden. That did
Trade me.
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons.
He's just not good overall, but still, he was a great defender and an all-star. And then he holds out, goes to Brooklyn, and the guy he can't move. The dude he can't move more than 5 feet. His lateral movement is just gone. But yeah, they don't work. But I am gonna take the Chiefs. I think it's gonna be a very good game. I'm very excited. But I'm still not betting against Mahomes. But I can definitely see Detroit taking it. I'll take the Chiefs, though.
I would smash the over on that one, too.
Yeah,
outside of Hutchinson, smash the over.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. I'll have the lines and I'll have the over-under lines in front of me. I might start eventually doing that. Maybe next week for game picks, but yeah.
Is it not on there? I'm surprised the NFL website doesn't have it on there. Can I take a look? Let me get a sniff.
Absolutely.
Let me get a sniff. Let me get it. Click game details.
Yeah, actually, let's do that. We might be able to find the over.
Deets? What are the deets?
Let's see if it gives us the over/under. Either way, I'm taking the over. Almost the line is like incredibly high, but.
Wow, the shoe Wi-Fi loves
yeah, if you guys haven't realized, right, shoe Wi-Fi is very bad.
I'm at a loss for words. Wow, you don't even show the. Okay.
All right, for next week, I will find a different database that will have the over because the NFL website is
terrible.
Is awful. Yeah, it's bad. All right, so moving on to Sunday games in the 1:00 slate. Let's start with Panthers, Falcons, and NFC South matchup. Bryce Young in his first ever game against Desmond Ridder.
Okay. I haven't done this in a while. I have not done this shit in a while.
Okay.
But he knows exactly what I'm about to do. Sunday, 1 p.m. Young, Ridder, Sanders, Bijan, 1 p.m. Division matchup, division winner matchup. I'm taking the Panthers. I'm taking the Panthers. Bryce Young knows how to throw football. And I actually don't even think we need to have an in-depth conversation about this one. Bryce Young knows how to throw football. The Bijan's a beast.
Oh, yeah.
Bijan might be offensive rookie of the year this year. If it's not him, it's going to be Richardson or say Flowers, if you ask me.
Mm.
It's going to be one of those 3 guys. But they're going to mainly hand off the ball. The Falcons are mainly going to hand off the ball to him. Bryce Young can throw a football. He has people he can throw a football to. Adam Thielen is old, but he can still catch a football.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Panthers.
I'm taking Carolina as well. It's his first career game, Bryce Young. And he's gonna have ups and downs like every rookie does. But I have no confidence in Desmond Ritter.
Yep.
I don't think he can throw the foot. I don't think he can throw, and he's a quarterback. I think if you're unless you
Let's give Kendall Hinton a shot. The
oh
wide receiver.
God, Kendall Hinton. I just not being able to throw and being a quarterback, they're only mix.
Really nuclear take on this podcast. This is definitely going in the reel of the top.
This is going that quote's going in my portfolio.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Quarterback and throw and not be able to throw a ball don't really exist. If that's the case, you're just Lamar Jackson. Is that Texans Ravens?
That's next game. Texans Ravens.
Texans.
You're
Texans.
You taking the Texans?
I'm taking the Texans. I am the most Ravens thing to do is to lose to the Texans. Do I trust the Texans defense? Hell no. Do I trust the Ravens? Do I trust the Ravens offense? Hell no. I also think they have some solid pieces on this team.
They're starting to build something there.
They're building something on this team. CJ Stroud was a phenomenal draft pick. I mean, you really couldn't have asked for better with the number 2 overall pick. Tank Dell's looking like a beast.
Yes.
Nico Harris is solid to me.
Nico Collins is very
Nico
good.
Collins, fucking. I think I got mixed with Najee Harris. No, Nico Collins. Nico Collins. And then I feel like I'm missing somebody.
John Mechie.
Guy
who also shout out to him for coming off of a leukemia, which
what a goat.
cut him out last year. But
he might also be comeback player.
Yeah,
for that.
Yeah, he's definitely
he could do that too. By the way, shouts out to Alex Smith's daughter for getting brain cancer. That is terrible.
Very, very sad.
That's very sad. That really the Smith family cannot catch a break. They really can't.
It's really a shame. Alex had to go through all that stuff. And now a couple years
with his
later,
legs where he might have died.
He almost died with the surgery, like of all the surgeries. Now he retires, enjoying life on this. So shout out to him and
hopefully
his family.
Wish a speedy recovery for his daughter.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so Stingley. Is Stingley on that team on the defense? Yeah,
very,
so
very
I still think he's very good as well. I would have wanted him if the Jets didn't get Sauce.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was the second best one available. So I actually think the Texans are going to upset the Ravens here.
I could see it. That could be one of those things I refer to as a trap game.
You gotta trust my process. Trust my process.
All right, so that's very convincing because just whenever he says that, he somehow magically makes things happen. And although I like the Texans are finally actually building something, I think there's going to be a lot of growing pains.
Yeah.
And then I think they start now, so I'm going to take the Ravens.
Yeah. Oh, shit, real quick. So we were just talking about Patrick Mahomes and, like, his accolades. So Bleacher Report just posted saying, here's Patrick Mahomes' stats in 5 years as a starter. So he's only been a starter for 5 years. 2 Super Bowls, 3 AFC titles, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 MVPs, a 5-time Pro Bowler, and he has the best career passer rating of all time. So he's going into his 6th year of starting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right. The first year he started, he basically it
was Matt Castle who started. And it's for his rookie year.
Was that him or was it Alex Smith?
I think it was Matt Castle.
Might have been. I thought it was Alex Smith.
Either way, it was not him.
Yeah, I think like there was like one game where like the Chiefs were like knew they were in the playoffs, so they threw him out there. So it's like, all right, he's gonna start next year anyway. Yeah, he redshirted basically in his first year, and then
pretty much
he took over next year, and
the rest is history.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
All right, Bengals Browns at 1:00. AFC North matchup.
Yep, Bengals Browns AFC North matchup. Yeah. So you're taking the Ravens, right?
Yeah.
All right, Bengals Browns. This one's a lot easier than people think. It's the Bengals. I don't know why you don't say the Bengals here. I mean, I don't even think I need to go into it. Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, J cubed. I don't think it's gonna. That's all there is to say.
Browns are a talented team. I think it'll be remotely close, but I am also taking the Bengals.
Yep.
I would not be shocked if they won the Super Bowl this year. They have a great team. I'm taking the Bengals.
Yep.
Jaguars Colts.
That's a better game than people think. I am excited to see Richardson play. We do have Sunday ticket this year, and that's something we've never had in our 4 years being here. And I'm still going to take the Jaguars. The Jaguars are a great team this year. They can easily win their division. So I'm just going to go. I just think it's also pretty easy, though. I'm going to go Jaguars.
I'm taking the Jaguars. If they had Jonathan Taylor, this would be a potential upset. But Jim Irsay decided to spend the money that he should spend on Jonathan Taylor on a whale. So
What whale? What?
so Jim Irsay, he spent like 20 million or 10 million on like this like whale to try to save it. It was dying.
Because Jim Irsay is a nut. He
then
tweets some of the dumbest things every single day.
And then the whale ended up dying, and then Jonathan Taylor ended up like right after that. It was like right when like he requested the trade. There's a whole joke like he'd rather like spend money on the whale and his own team.
Yeah.
So yeah, not a great owner, and I don't think the Colts are very good. I just think this isn't their year.
Yeah.
I'll take Jacksonville.
All right. Probably the second worst owner in the league now. The first worst, I think, is the Browns.
Yeah,
owner.
I don't know what they're just. Oh, they've had like multiple owners, and they all are just awful.
Yep.
They had one guy, Art Modell, who literally moved the team overnight. Like, come on, at least give us a little warning there. All right, Buccaneers Vikings. All right, Justin is very interested in this one.
I'm frothing at the loins here. Fuck it. I part of me would just love to say the Buccaneers because it would be funny. Because the only reason why is because the Vikings have like no defense.
Their defense is horrible.
Like you're saying, you could probably put nobody out there on the defensive end, and it would have the same amount of efficiency as their starting defensive line. It's just not good. But that team, the Buccaneers, have no QB identity. If it's not Baker, it's Kyle Trask. Rashad White's not that good, I don't think, but Sean Tucker is. I'm just gonna say the Vikings though. It's an easy win. It's gonna be it should be a very good. Wait, what time are they playing?
At 1.
Okay, well then definitely the Vikings.
1 o'clock. Kirk Cousins is unbeatable. This could possibly be an upset because
Sean Tucker.
Sean Tucker. The Bucks. Baker's awful, but he is also going against a very bad defense. So, and he's got two very good
Ooh.
receivers.
Have you seen the new Jets helmets?
I've not. Those are nice. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they can wear on those. Those are nice. Shout out to whoever's making the new Jets helmets. Those are very nice.
Yeah, they're nice helmets.
And also, the Bucks defense isn't bad. It's okay. But 1 o'clock, Kirk Cousins is unbeatable. They're a better team.
Yep. Also, also coaching is just better. It's going to be a huge coaching gap.
Todd Bowles is awful.
Todd Bowles is awful, and if it wasn't Brian Dable, it was going to be Kevin O'Connell for Coach of the Year last year.
Absolutely.
It was only between those two. It couldn't have been anyone else last year.
Yeah, it's not even a competition. So I'll take the Vikings. Titans Saints.
Skip. I don't want to. It's so fucking bad.
It's definitely a middle.
Wait, this is a not for kids podcast, right?
No.
So it's not for kids.
It's not for kids.
Yeah, it's so fucking bad. Really, I hate this. I hate this matchup. I fucking hate it.
This is a mid-off.
This is a game. You know what? Draw.
A tie.
I'm saying it's a tie. Both of these teams fucking suck. Both of these teams do not have a quarterback. They both have solid running backs, but
Derek Carr, he's all right.
Still, Michael Thomas too busy punching people in the locker room. He's too busy sparring off on people. Chris Olave's good, but he's
he's fantastic. He's on the Saints.
He's on the Saints. Draw. It's a tie.
If you call a tie correctly, I swear to God.
There's going to be a fucking safety in this game. That's the worst part about it. There's going to be a fucking safety in this game.
If you call that there's a tie and a safety in the exact game, I swear to God. Saints Titans.
See this is why I can't. I don't want to lose brain cells thinking about this matchup.
I'll take the Saints. I think they win their division, but because their schedule is so easy.
Yep, and their division's awful.
It's so bad.
Division's
They
terrible.
played the Bucks, the freaking Falcons, and the Panthers 6 times. That could be 4 wins at least right there. And if they're playing the AFC South, outside of Jacksonville, which they probably lose to twice, Tennessee, Houston, and Indianapolis, that could be 3 wins.
Yep.
So that's 7 wins right there.
Yep.
So I'll take the Saints. The Titans' only shot of winning is Derrick Henry literally running the ball 30 times a game.
Pretty much.
So I'll take the Saints. All right. 49ers
Probably 40
Steelers.
times. Probably 40.
Probably, yeah.
Niners Steelers.
That's the offense is bad. But yeah, Niners Steelers were actually a solid game.
This is another one of those games towards better than people expect, but we already had this conversation earlier about why I think the Niners are going to win the Super Bowl. Because of just how complete they are. And I just think, I don't know, I think the weapons that the Niners have are better. I think Brock Purdy's better than Kenny Pickett.
Yes.
I'm going to go for I'm going to slightly go for the Niners here, but I think it'll be close. It won't surprise if this is like a 17-10 game because both have very good defense.
Absolutely. I'm honestly in the exact same boat. I'm taking the Niners in a close game. Won't be too high scoring. Like a 24-20 kind of thing, probably. I'll take the 49ers. I think I could see it being like neck and neck through the whole game, and then in the fourth quarter, the Niners just outmuscle the Steelers.
Yep.
So I'll take the 49ers now then. Cardinals, Commanders.
Commanders, and it's just an obvious reason. It's some very obvious reasons. Number one, here's Cardinals are in a very, very bad position right now.
I'll say
their QB1 is hurt, and they're putting in what's his name,
Josh Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs, who's
been there like a week and a half.
And I do like Hollywood a lot. But it's not going to help. Is Chosen still on that team?
He's in Miami.
Miami? Oh, of course he's in fucking Miami. So there we go. Yeah, like he's gonna play. But yeah, I like Hollywood Brown. It's just not gonna be enough. I mean, really, it's Jonathan Gannon. That's the head coach's name, right? He's literally going up to his team and being like, "Who took the bus? Are you fired up? Are you fired up? Who took the bus?" That's not a motivation, no. And on top of that, this is a bit of an underrated thing that I think people are going to kind of gloss over. The Commanders are fired up because they finally have a respectable owner.
Yeah, they won't be in the news because their owner just did something incredibly stupid.
Or, it's just they're committing another criminal act.
Exactly.
So I actually am taking the Commanders here. I actually think they might end up second in that division.
If Sam Howell plays well, they have a shot. They could be a sleeper.
The UNC legend Sam Howell.
I'm taking the Commanders. The Cardinals are so bad. First of all, I'm not convinced that Jonathan Gannon is not James Murray. No one can convince. He better have a really good tenure there because until he is, I will continue to say that is James Murray. That is so James Murray.
Q and Saller in the truck. Murray, your punishment is to coach an entire season of the Arizona Cardinals.
That might just be and that's a really good punishment because they are going to be bad this year.
They're probably going to get Caleb Williams.
They are, and they have a Texas pick, so they might have the first two picks.
They might,
and they can get Caleb and Marvin Harrison, which would be crazy. But yeah, Arizona, not good. Not gonna lie, I could see him going 0-17.
I could.
They'll probably they'll win 2 or 3 games. Maybe if they play like the freaking like Texans or something. I hope I don't because that game is gonna be painful. But they'll play like some crap team, catch them on a bad week. Maybe they catch like a mediocre 8-win team on a bad week. They'll squeak 2 or 3 here and there, but they're not good. I'm taking the Commanders.
Absolutely.
All right, on to the 425 slate. Packers-Bears, the oldest rivalry in the history of the NFL. 425.
Can we skip? This is a toilet bowl. This is an actual toilet bowl. I mean, Bears, I guess.
Justin's not a fan of this matchup.
No further comment. Bears, I guess. I just want to go to the next matchup. Make this quick, Jake.
The next one ain't much better, but I'm taking the Bears. Jordan Love is not good. He's not. It's not fair to say like he's running him off already. He's got to give him a shot, but I ain't like the pick when it happened. I still don't. I never will. Unless he has done something really crazy in his career. I don't expect it. It took a kid out of Utah State. Come on.
The Ute.
I think the Bears will be better. Can't get any worse, but I do think they'll make significant progress, but they're still not a playoff team yet. Although I do like Justin Fields a lot. I'm taking the Bears.
Yep.
Raiders Broncos. I told you this one isn't that much better.
I know. I'm gonna slightly take the Broncos though. I think in terms of coaching, they're just in a better position.
Yeah.
Sean Payton, even after a year of not coaching, will be 400 times better than any year Josh McDaniels is coaching. I'm just gonna take the Broncos.
Yeah, like I think everyone's like Sean Payton comes to think he's just gonna throw a band-aid on that awful situation. They're gonna be good. No, the team still isn't that good. But the Raiders are horrendously bad.
They are bad.
Why Josh McDaniels has a job? So they saw what he did in Denver and thought, I want some of that.
I want some of that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You obviously suit yourself. You got what you paid for. He was atrocious in Denver, 10 years ago. And he's been atrocious with the Raiders. I'm taking the Broncos as well. All right, another 425 games. This one's much better. Dolphins Chargers. So Tua against Herbert.
Chargers. I don't trust Tua with my life. Tua is not good. He's just not good.
All right, so I'm gonna take the Dolphins, and here's why. I think this game is gonna be close.
Oh, it's gonna be a very close game, but
So that means in close games, coaching is important.
and Brandon Staley
And
cannot coach.
so clock management may be important in this game. And although Mike McDaniel doesn't impress me either, I'm not sold on him as well either. In fact, if the Dolphins don't make the playoffs here, I think Dolphins might fire him and bring in Jim Harbaugh because of his connection, because of Stephen Ross's connection to Michigan. But if this team comes down to coaching, Brandon Staley's clock management is awful, very bad.
It's not good. But
So I'm gonna take Miami.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be a fun game though. Fun match.
I'm too. 425 Eagles Patriots.
Eagles. It's gonna have to be the Eagles. I'm sorry. I think the Patriots are gonna be solid this year, but they're not gonna win the division this year. It's not happening.
No.
The Eagles, I think, are going to wipe the floor with their division this year. They've picked up so many great defensive players in the draft. I just don't know how you bet against them.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles as well. New England to me is right swap down normally. They're not good enough to win 10 games and make the playoffs and do some damage, but not exactly bad enough to be like 5-12, 6-11 to the point where they can have a top 7 or 8 draft pick and get a stud player next year. I'm taking the Eagles. I'm also very excited. Eagles have a lot of new players that they brought in, so I'm very excited to see how they, acclimate them to their team. I had a lot of turnover for a team coming off of that was this close to winning the Super Bowl.
Yep.
All right, Rams Seahawks.
Seahawks. Cooper Kupp's out. It's easy. Make this quick.
The
Please.
Rams.
I beg of you. I beg.
The Rams roster is so bad. People were expecting them to bounce back. I don't get it. They're over under from win total 6.5. Hit the under because their roster is horrible. Seattle, I also, like I said, I'm very high on them. They're very good. They're just an overall better team. I'll take the Seattle Seahawks. Sunday Night Football, Cowboys Giants.
I don't understand why this is the Sunday Night Football game.
Every year they play Week 1. It seems like
I know,
but
it's. I mean, the dick riding's crazy. I mean, I'm saying Giants. There are just parts of their team that is better. I actually think Tony Pollard and Saquon are on the same level. I actually think it comes down to coaching in this one.
That's a very good point.
Dable is better than McCarthy.
Yes, that's a very good point. Dable's a phenomenal coach.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Dallas. Daniel Jones has been very bad in prime time.
You are giving Cowboys fans so much fire.
I know, and both quarterbacks are very bad when the lights are bright. Dak and Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is actually it's underrated how bad he is in prime time. I think at one point he was like 0-12 at one point or something like that.
Yep.
And both quarterbacks are bad in prime time. But I have the Cowboys squeak past the Giants.
Yep.
Monday Night Football.
Jake, you and I do it together.
Jets. Jets. Let's go, Jets. They're taking it. Jets win the division this year. They're gonna have a great year.
Stephon Diggs hates it there. It's gonna.
He's getting traded next year. That's all we got for you today. Justin, thank you for joining me.
Of course.
Enjoy week 1 of the NFL season.
It's been a long wait.
I'll probably be back tomorrow, so stay tuned. Until next time, So long. Have a great day.
Bye.